Yo, what is up? Welcome to NinjaGeek Games. In most games from the Arkham lore, you're an investigator looking for clues, hoping to put an end to any rituals in order to prevent the coming of an ancient one. In Cosmoctopus, the roles are reverse. Yes, you finally get to play as a cultist, harnessing powerful artifacts and relics to summon one of these terrible beings. But is it Azazoth, or Hasta, or the mighty Cthulhu themselves? Nope, it appears to be none other than the great inky one, the monstrous cephalopod Cosmoctopus. In this competitive game from Paper Fork Games, up to 4 players take on the role of a cultist, where you must gather resources by moving the ancient one across the cosmos and spending these resources to utilise objects and powerful actions in order to summon Cosmoctopus to our realm. The winner of the game is the first player to gain 8 tentacles, where they are deemed the most devout cultist and worthy follower of Cosmoctopus. The game is set to hit Kickstarter very soon, so let's take a look at what we're expecting if we're to awaken the ancient one. This is a prototype copy of the game, so content may vary from what you see here. If you enjoy the video, please like, comment and subscribe. This is what setup looks like for a 2-player game. This central area represents the Inky Realm, consisting of 9 tiles laid out randomly in a 3x3 grid, where Cosmoctopus moves from tile to tile, gaining resources throughout the game, and is a pretty cool miniature. There is a large deck of Devotee Cards that can also be claimed as rewards for moving Cosmoctopus. These will make their way to your hand and can only be played by spending various amounts of 4 different types of resources, to include stars, coins, whispers, and of course ink. Each player has a summoning tile where any claimed tentacles are kept, and these are gained from playing certain cards and spending resources to try and earn forbidden knowledge tiles. These are the first contact cards that reward players when they gain their first tentacle. The game is pretty simple to play and the rules are very easy to learn. The aim of the game is to be the first player to collect 8 tentacles that are claimed from playing cards or gaining forbidden knowledge, and in order to do this you need to spend resources provided by realm tiles when moving Cosmoctopus. The Inky Realm is more or less the game board and is made up of 9 tiles, 8 of which are standard for every game, and 1 is a special tile selected from a choice of 4 at setup. This is the Inky Realm, and I believe each tile represents a different point in space and time. Realm tiles provide you with different types and quantities of rewards, from choosing face-up Devotee Cards to take to hand or resources to place in your player area. During your turn, you get to control Cosmoctopus by moving the entity 1 space and gain any rewards on the tile that the miniature lands on. With each game, you'll get a different realm layout along with a random special tile included at setup. Your resources are used to pay for activating Devotee Cards, allowing them to be played for their actions and abilities, where you'll need to ensure you tailor your resource collection based on the cards in your hand. However, you'll also need to make sure you have enough Devotee Cards in hand, as these will give you more options on how to spend your resources. The game also offers variants for realm tile setup, so you can have some weird and wonderful configurations that will alter the game length and your strategy. Now, your hand of Devotee Cards must be paid for by discarding the required resources before any of their abilities can be used, and there are 4 types of cards, each with a different cost. I really like the look of these cards, as they appear like a rare and vintage collection of posters from the 20s. There are 4 types of Devotee Cards represented by different colours, and each has a specific cost located here. The top icon indicates the number and specific type of resource that must be spent, and the lower icon indicates an additional cost that can be spent from any resource type, and both of these costs must be met in order to play the card. Black cards are ancient scriptures that when played remain active for the duration of the game and reduce the cost of other cards by the resources shown here. Relics are like upgrades that provide additional resources when claiming a specific type from the realm tiles, or allow you to bend the rules in some way. Red cards are hallucinations that provide really powerful one-time effects, and these are constellations that award tentacles if you can fulfill these empty resource spots every time you gain resources of the matching type. So, with the Devotee Cards, you need to spend resources in order to play them from hand. Here you construct a little engine so that you can claim more of a certain type of resource and then get discounts to play other cards. Some let you substitute resources when paying a card's cost, and as you can have multiple active cards at any one time, you can start to gain large number of resources to pay for expensive cards that provide some very powerful effects and abilities. As the market area for these cards is replaced with each card taken, you have a vast choice of these available during the game. If you are able to gain 13 of any one resource type, you can then claim the rare Forbidden Knowledge tile that provides you with 2 tentacles, which is a big deal as these tiles are limited, plus you can only have a maximum of 8 resources at the end of your turn, so you really need to consider how to manage this in just one turn. Also, when claiming your first tentacle, you can choose from one of the 4 first contact cards that can be played for free, and these offer additional tentacles or resources, but the later you are doing this, the less choice you have as cards will be taken by other players. The game is light and fun and typically plays in about an hour. It's actually quite a nice gateway game, but also good as a filler, where you'll need to consider where to move Cosmoctopus in order to gain resources or cards, and which cards will benefit you now based on what you have available to pay over what you could get next turn. You are also able to move Cosmoctopus extra realm tiles if you really need that card, for example, but this does cost extra resources, so you do need to think about any benefit that this can give. For a small game, it has great table presence, from the nice artwork to the miniatures where the tentacles look awesome popping out of your summoning tile, especially if you win the game, as you get to place Cosmoctopus in the centre, showing them crossing over to our realm. The game includes a solo variant, and of course this is against an investigator trying to thwart our evil plans to summon Cosmoctopus. For the cultist, the game plays the same, but during the AI turn the investigator will be collecting resources based on the Devotee cards available in the market area. Once they reach a specific number of any one resource type, they use these to pay for tentacles, or worse, 2 tentacles, by claiming Forbidden Knowledge tiles that you have your eye on. The investigator comes with a small deck of behaviour cards. Over time, these are flipped and they show where the AI is investigating, represented by placing magnifying glass tokens in the Inky Realm. During your turn, if you move Cosmoctopus onto these areas, the investigator also gets the matching resource. This area shows an effect that occurs when the investigator gains a tentacle, either through spending resources or claiming Forbidden Knowledge tiles, such as gaining additional resources or forcing cultists to remove theirs. And their progression through the game is marked by this tracker card. The investigator also gets a revelation card that is revealed later in the game, making them a little more powerful to play against. There are 4 levels of difficulty against the investigator, but this just means they start with more or less resources and generally results in you needing to complete your goals in less turns as the difficulty increases. Cosmoctopus is a light game with some engine building and nice components even at the prototype level. I prefer playing at the higher player count, as taking Devotee cards or using realm tiles the next cultist wanted is fun to do. Well, if you're trying to summon an ancient one to destroy the world, stealing a few resources is the least of your problems. Downtime is non-existent as your turn comes around very fast, and using your played cards to gain resources, play other cards for free or move the ancient one again can allow big turns, resulting in you gaining 2 tentacles from Forbidden Knowledge tokens where you are well within your rights for a little fist pump. Cosmoctopus comes to Kickstarter very soon and I think you should check it out. This is NinjaGeek Games. Cheers.